Yizzo! Silence on the other end. Wow. So everyone, hello. We are back. I am back. But Shanti, sadly, is not here this week. Shanti, we got to say a prayer for Shanti. Everything's fine. She just needs to recognize that she needs a new computer. And I want everybody to bully her into getting a brand new computer because sis deserves. Shanti, if you are listening, you run an online business, you have a podcast. At this point, it's just a must. It's just a must have. This is a tool that is going to make your life so much easier. Trust me, Queen. You trusted me with the iPhone and you've never looked back. That Android life wasn't for you, and neither is this refurbished life. So 2022, you got the RAV4.
Okay.
And now you're going to get this new computer.
I'm really weak at this internet shaming that you were trying to start on poor Shanti.
Listen, it's not shame. Shanti needs to know, Shanti needs to know that she deserves nice things.
That's a lovely way to put it. I like that spin.
I say it to her all the time, though. I'm like, you deserve nice things. She's like, oh, I just don't know. But y'all, we are joined. So we're joined by a lady who I like to stalk from afar. There have been many a nights where I've just gone to her page and scrolled through and been like, oh, this is dope. Oh, this is dope. Oh, she's dope. We have only met twice.
That's crazy.
Right? In person. That's it. We've only met twice.
Has it only
first time in person? No, first time in person was at Clinton Hill.
Mm-hmm.
No,
it was
Hill, right?
Fort
Green Park.
Yeah, for Juneteenth.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And we had just done that bike ride.
Mm-hmm. And you were exhausted.
And I was so tired and sweaty, but I was with the homies. And they were like, oh, you fuck with her. Come meet her. And I was like, okay, cool. You were very nice to me because I didn't know anybody and they all left me.
Yeah. Trust me, I know that struggle when it comes to those boys. They
just left me.
They love leaving people. They be like, oh, she good.
It was rude. Yeah, I was like, the fuck? And then of course we saw each other at PVL when I was inebriated.
Girl,
and dancing all up on you.
I'm about to say, anytime you see me, I've been drunk. So
no.
That's the real joke. This might be the soberest you've ever seen me.
Oh my God. But this is also a podcast queen. So please introduce yourself. Please tell the people who you are and all the things.
Okay. I always struggle with this, but I'm going to do my best. So my name is Siobhan, but everybody calls me Sayo or Sio because nobody actually knows how to say my name the way it's spelled. So I've just adapted the name Sayo or Sio, which I accept. By day, I am a programming and content producer at Twitter. So please get on Twitter and make my stock go up. Thank you. I need equity. And by night, I am all the things storytelling, I think. I've really struggled on trying to figure out what my side hustle is, what my role is. But podcaster, writer, all that doesn't sound right. So I tell a good ass story, whether it be about my life or someone else's. So that's why I am by night a great storyteller in all forms.
Yeah, I feel like I hate content creator because that's what everybody's saying. Mm-hmm. But I feel like you're like a culture kind of like you observe and analyze the culture and also push it forward. Oh. Just by even watching your stories, watching your clever tweets, just your way about what you share. I'm like, oh no, she's got a clear vision, especially on branding, especially on voice. And I'm just
that's
like,
so funny because I don't think I have a brand. Like I know I have a brand, which is like my personal brand, but I don't like specifically curate tweets. I'm going to talk about nonsense today, but
it's you.
Yeah, and that's really what the brand is. My first blog was called Random Epiphanies because nothing was the same. Like I would write about a black man's smile and then talk about poor pussy management the next day. Like it would be terrible. And I'm like, y'all got to take it or leave it.
And now you see why I wanted her to come on. It's giving duality, everyone. It's giving the duality. I said, wow, she's got it.
I was about to say, you see, when y'all posted this chain, I was like, oh, immediately. And then
that means so much to me that you wear our raggedy stuff.
I wear it literally all the time. Like there's multiple pictures of me wearing this duality. And
I saw you on vacation.
And the rings too.
You had it on. I was like, oh.
My friends be like, where did you find this? Did you have these made? And I'm like, no, literally there's a podcast that created this. And they were like, we would have put money down that these were your own merch. And I was like,
I'm telling you, you're a perfect figure. You are a perfect fit. All right, so I'm excited to, and just so everybody knows, because I know Valentine's Day passed, but because we're falling into the same week. And a couple listeners actually reached out to me and was like, I know that you're single, but I hope you have a happy Valentine's Day. And I was like, thank you. But also, wow, this is pitiful.
Yeah.
I want to talk about, just being single, about love, about all the things. And you are super fucking dope. And I see what you post, and I see, from what I gather, it seems that you are definitely interested in partnership, that you want it, but you're also looking for a certain kind of partnership. And until you get it, you're like, I'm good, love, and joy.
Yeah.
So I think it's important that we talk about that. But first up, I'm gonna give y'all some updates. First and foremost, I should have had this shit pulled up. Damn, the worst. First and foremost, you may have seen us post, but if you didn't, and if you don't follow us on social media, well, you should be. We finally are having our first live show, and it is none other than going to be at the Roots Picnic. And this was canceled the last time we were booked. And I have to say, I'm almost happy that it was canceled, because I just feel like we've grown.
Oh, okay.
A little bit. I feel like we've grown. I feel like we'll have a better handle on it, but I also am loving this fucking lineup. I'm like, I want to go to this.
One, I'm super happy for y'all, but two, I don't like music festivals. Like, I'm very much like, big crowd, please get me out of here. You know the Blue Ivy, where she's on the balcony like,
yeah, and she's looking down.
Blue Ivy's birthday is the day after mine, and I don't resonate with anybody else as much as Blue Ivy. That's how I feel about Music Fest, and I think I'm buying a ticket. One, to support y'all, but definitely the lineup.
This line, y'all, the Roots Picnic is a 2-day festival this year. It has Mary J. Blige with her band is going to be the Roots. Summer Walker, who no shade, but I don't get. She could sing, but her stuff just doesn't.
She has a couple hits for me, but I'm also a hood booger from the Bronx, so please
say less, queen. WizKid, who I'm very hyped for. Jasmine Sullivan, of course. Kamasi Washington, who my inner geek, my inner jazz geek. It's like, I'm like, hell yeah. You got some sort of like, what the fuck is this? You got some sort of live mixtape freestyle with Black Thought, Rick Ross, and Benny the Butcher. You got a jam session with Keisha Cole, SWV, and music. Kurt Franklin.
That's all I need.
Tierra Whack, Freddie Gibbs. I'm hyped. Yebba. Like what? Robert Glasper and Bilal. I'm trying to go. I'm gonna be there. Alex Isley, Money Long. It took me a long ass time to know that her fucking name.
I was calling her Money Long the whole time.
I thought that woman, God bless her, I thought she was mixed with some sort of Asian.
They're about to say it's okay. You can say it because you're not alone. I was like, oh.
I don't want to be problematic, but I was like, oh, okay, queen. Wow. She said Money Long, like my money is long. Say less. But we're going to be on the podcast stage in very good company with Rory Amal, Jamel Hill. Jesus, can't read. Horrible Decisions with Mandy. And Carefully Reckless with Jessica Hilarious. A whole bunch of folks. So come through. It's going to be a good time. It's outdoors in case anybody is worried about COVID. I think we're all going to be okay. I say mask up. Come out and have a good time. I'm really looking forward to seeing humans.
Listen.
And Philly actually just lifted its mandate. But for the Roots Picnic, they said you either have to be fully vaccinated or provide a COVID test. So they're letting unvaccinated people in as long as they have a day of COVID test. And I'm really hoping people don't lie and come up with some old bullshit because y'all playing games.
You know how.
But we outside, so we gonna risk it all. So that's exciting. In other news, the Super Bowl happened. I guess this is really late now, but the Super Bowl happened. I watched the game. I watched the game with a bunch of people who kept talking to me during the game. And they were like, "Oh, we're interrupting her show." I was like, the fact that y'all are calling this a show tells me everything I need to know. I think I watched a game with over Crystal's house with Jay, and Jay ass really didn't know what the hell was going on. But of course, they were all there for the halftime show, and it was a great show. I have an issue with people calling it the best halftime show.
Absolutely, and I love Mary.
Okay,
I
love Mary.
Adore Mary.
If we really want to talk about this, Mary was the oddball out. I was like, why is Mary up there?
I mean, I feel like 50 Cent popping out like a chubby bat was the oddball out. Like, I just was like,
50 was thick.
Yeah, when they said he looked like 375 versus 50 Cent, I chuckled a little bit. And don't get me wrong, Get Rich or Die Trying was, again, hood booker from the Bronx. Like, Get Rich or Die Trying was my shit, but I understand why he was there, but I really was there for Mary.
I think Mary deserves her own halftime show.
Absolutely.
But I just didn't get putting Mary on with them. I was confused, but I loved her. And somebody said something at the party. It was like, Mary needs to come out with her own boot line. Like, why hasn't she done this yet? She invented boots. It's Black History Month. And I was like, she really does. I don't know who on her team hasn't done this. She got her own line. Like, give us a boot, Mary.
Or a blonde extension line. A blonde wig line. She has consistently rocked that blonde. Like, even Beyonce gave us, like, a little dark hair moment every once in a while. Beyonce,
she did.
Mary J. Blige said no. The darkest she's ever been was Monet.
Yeah, she said, I am blonde. That's it. She was fine. It was fine. It was more than fine. It was great, I think, to see that celebrate, see people crip. Well, I was like, wow, this shit is wild. People gonna lose their minds. From the choreography to the set design, the lighting, I thought it was really cool to see Dr. Dre like on the, that big board where it looked like he was producing. Even though I hate him, he's an awful human.
Yeah, he's not the best.
And we just forget so easily.
We forget regularly about a lot of people. And this is why.
Yes. This
is why it's so hard.
He's definitely one of them.
Yes.
I don't know why he gets the grace that he gets, but he definitely gets it.
I think that we don't think about Dr. Dre enough to be like, let's remember what. Like, I think we forget.
Because he doesn't show us his face enough.
I feel like we forget about him so much that we don't remember what he did.
Exactly. He disappears. And so you just like, who? Eminem, did he get work done?
Did you really see his face? Because he was still wearing the that cap and those dirty Jordans. It's
something interesting.
It was a lot.
God. It's something interesting going on with his face. And I know that he's recovering, that he has problems. So maybe that's what I'm seeing. But I thought that he looked really good. I'm really proud of him. I'm
happy. I'm not the hugest Eminem fan. I know he is talented, but I'm happy that he got his shine. And I remember somebody said, and I feel like he's part of, as much as this might be problematic to say, he is part of like rap culture, even though rap culture is like Black culture. He's a big part of it. And somebody was like, I'm really happy to see a halftime show with all Black people. And I was like,
and they just forget.
They forget. I'm like, just like John B.
I know.
We just accept him.
He's just light skinned.
Yeah.
But Eminem, he did his thing. Snoop, I just adore. I really
love Snoop. The Verzuz brought me so much joy with him and DMX.
Yes, and Snoop is the most famous rapper I think in the world because his reach. He's in Bollywood shit.
Yes,
like Snoop has done everything. He's done the most random shit. And I just feel like he's this recognizable face that everybody knows. like everywhere.
When I seen him do stuff with Martha Stewart, I was like, wow.
I'm telling you, and he did it being himself.
That man,
completely.
There's clips all over the internet of him backstage at the halftime with his blunt about to go up, like, oh yeah, like trying to get a few more hits right before he went on stage. And I was like, wow, he is never not being authentically himself.
Never. But the real prize for me is always Kendrick. He is such a little. I was so happy to see him in the bell bottoms with them sunglasses, the fresh hair. I said, oh, he is such an artist. He's so talented.
You had me with
and imaginative. I don't give a. They weren't, baby. Listen, y'all not hear me with these.
I understand, but
y'all not hear me with this boot cut thing. He took it to the next. He said bell bottoms. Watch me fucking work. Married with a kid. I'm telling you. Married with a kid, not on social media, minding his motherfucking business.
With his bell bottoms.
King. Yes. I'm trying to tell y'all, if you, Dr. Dre, he had on skinny jeans. You cannot be with somebody who they don't have the room to love you. They're confined. They're restricted by the denim around their ankles. They gotta like wiggle to get their jeans off. They're too fucking cool.
Okay.
The boot cut, that is the cut of a man. He might put Birkenstocks on with that and go to the fucking farmer's market.
No, you're selling this. And I've heard you sell this before, but actually looking at your face, engaging it.
I mean it though.
No, I know.
Like, I'm not playing.
I know you're not. And that's actually the real joke. Like, if we really think about it. It's not a joke. Because that man and his bell bottoms, I'm not trusting nobody with bell bottoms, because what are you hiding in there? There's so much room for secrets. I don't like that.
No, there's not room for secrets. That he doesn't have any secrets because he's so outwardly himself. He said, I don't have anything to hide. Watch me work. I'm wearing these bell bottoms. Yes. Fuck y'all. And y'all still gonna think I'm cool.
I still think
I'm still at the top of my craft.
I'm not advocating for my man to wear nothing but bell bottoms, but I'm very happy that he feels comfortable in himself to wear those.
Exactly. You don't have to only wear bell bottoms or only wear boot cut. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you have boot cut or bell bottoms in your repertoire, it says something about you. Okay. It says that you might be ready to be loved and to love.
I need to do a little more research on this, because I've heard you advocate for it, but I'm a Capricorn. I need some kind of like metrics.
This summer, we're going to hang out this summer, all right? I'm calling this. I did this experiment with actually Jade and Crystal. We were out in Brooklyn at the Tompkins like little business block party. I said, and I was telling them about this theory. And I said, I'm looking for boot cut bae. It's very serious. Like, if I'm looking at your fucking pants and they are kissing, like hugging on to your ankles, it's not it. I'll even go for a straight leg, but the boot cut is really where I'm like, all right, you're serious. Straight leg is like you're dipping your toe in the water. You're considering it. You're considering partnership.
Like, do you see
the boot cut?
I'm like, no, I believe you.
We did this, and every single man that came by, you could see that he wasn't shit with them goddamn skinny jeans on. You saw he was looking at other ladies. He might have had a lady with him and was still eyeing us and shit. But those men with the boot cuts on, they had kids strapped on their fucking back.
They was loyal.
They were playing ball with the kids. One dad was like putting the kids' lunch in his little backpack. I said, ready for love and to be loved.
Yep.
There you go.
The theory is, though, what happens if they only wear boot cut because they're already loving somebody? That's the problem.
Well, no, it doesn't mean they're available. Oh. It doesn't mean they're available to you. It just means
that's what I'm looking for, available to me.
Man.
I guess I'm going in my own.
Well, the first things first is you got to see, are they even open to the idea of love? Okay, now we got to see, are you available? To bust it open for me, and if not, then
there's steps to the boot cut. My bad.
There's steps to everything. But that's not to mean like you might want to buy your man a pair of boot cut jeans and just see what he does.
Okay.
Maybe he'll wear them around the house. That might mean he's, is closeted. This relationship is a relationship, but we ain't doing this public shit. Yeah, I mean, it might be that, and you have to be okay with that.
All right.
You playing?
Nah, I'm not playing. We're gonna talk about this more because I realize we've talked so long about boot cut Shazam. But we're definitely gonna talk about this more because now you're actually selling me, and I don't know how I feel about you selling me this.
I'm gonna send you some more
literature.
I posted the last thing I'll say about this is I posted a man who had on. He tried to say they weren't boot cut. He tried to say they were straight leg jeans, but they were boot cut-ish, and he had on boots. And you want to know what he was doing? He was giving a lecture on Bell Hooks's
All About Love.
All About Love, and I said, "Wow."
So
my theory is theory.
One, I'm reading that currently. Two, I feel like I 80% know about who you're talking about, but that's also the joke.
Probably.
Yeah.
He's a brilliant human who's all about love. It makes sense. Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying the jeans
told the story.
The jeans told me everything I needed to know.
Okay. All right.
So here we are. Moving on. On hot shit, we have obviously Jasmine came out with Heaux Tales, Motels. I have been listening. I really haven't been listening to anything else. At all. So I don't have much to bring you on hot shit this week. That's it.
I can't even chime in.
If you haven't.
You haven't listened to it? I can't chime in to give you other hot shit. I literally listened, and I didn't even listen to the whole album. I literally listened to just the extended songs over and over and over again. Jazzy's Tale and Hurt Me So Good. You know the GIF, or how do you say GIF? But basically when Tyrese got put in a chokehold and Baby Boy, that was me with the album just here.
She did that. She really did that. I really am so, because that girl, I saw her before her tour. I went home to wish her luck, and that girl just has no idea. When I tell you humility, that girl was like, I hope everybody likes it. I don't know. Girl. And I just think she's crazy. Do you hear me?
I think she's crazy regularly. Very randomly, I went to Temple University, so I consider myself a fake Philly John. I tell you this all the time.
You are.
And I saw Jasmine performing while I was in college. She was in,
Oh, where did you see
I don't
her?
remember the venue. I try to think about it all the time, but she was performing, and she didn't even have her own songs yet. She was doing covers at that point. And
she was in high school?
I think so, because I'm older than her. I'm 37. So she was doing, I'm 37.
She was probably, we were still in high school. You was in college.
Yeah, so, and I remember being in the back, not paying attention, probably trying to get some Hennessy or some 151, because I was ratchet. And her voice came on, and I literally was like, and I turned around.
What's that?
I turned around, and I was like, who the hell is that? And then she dropped her first single, and I was like, that's the girl from the club. Because social media wasn't around then. So it's not like I can be like, oh, follow her on Instagram or follow her on Twitter. And I'm not stalking nobody's Facebook to be a fan. It was kind of like when that first single dropped, I said, yo, turn this up. That's her. And she's had me in a chokehold ever since. So when she did that speech where she was talking about how she's trying to be more present, I'm like, please, I was screaming at my phone, please, sis, please show yourself.
She didn't want to hide anymore. Yeah.
Please, stop hiding, because we trying to pull it out.
Yeah, I think her main thing is she wants the music to speak for itself, and she's like, I'm not willing to play this
industry
Instagram game, industry game. When I feel good, I'll post myself or whatever, but I'm not doing it as a strategic thing. That's stressful.
No, and I don't think she should. I think, and this is somebody who works in production and like you said, culture, content stuff. I think that she is one of the most unmatched storytellers of our time. Even the way she does the questions and asks us to tell stories, and how she gets the answers and still makes them a story on her page. The secrets thing when she was telling people to confess things. She's just so good. Even the interludes that she has on the album and the way she brings it into the song, and she's amplifying so many people. First of all, Teddy being on it already is a joke, but
Shout out to Teddy. You know who you are.
Shout out to Teddy. But Teddy being on it, like
our bro tail.
I went to college with Teddy. Teddy is my brother. Like, if anybody asks who Teddy is, they know he's my brother. Like, hearing Mona on it because she's from Philly, like, people are like, who's Mona? And I'm like, that's literally the same one hand on the neck, one hand on the frontal joint. Yeah. And nobody knew her past that. Well, not nobody. She has a great podcast. But I think that the way she tells stories and amplifies other people's stories is just so admirable. And I can go on. We can make this podcast about Jasmine. I know this is your friend.
I know.
So I'm not going to do that. But I'm just like, I was chokehold this weekend with those songs. Like, I was like, it's Valentine's
It's weekend. Really good. The writing is impeccable, I think. I also just was like, the way she floated on certain songs, I was like, where did you get this fucking flow from? Like, you try to be cool, get out of here. But it's like roster, she just fucking floated on that. Bro. She's like, I hope it's not too boring. I was like, it's not boring at all. Like, you're insane.
I'm like, so good. I was about to say she getting me tight like she's my friend. Like, I got disgusted just now. I'm like, is she?
She and I saw her rehearsal for the tour. Woo! And I was like, God damn.
Yeah.
The set is so good. Everything's just so good. So if you have tickets, if you don't have tickets, I hope the fucking resellers stop playing around. And they drop the prices, because that's awful and that's upsetting her. But she started the tour in Toronto, sold out shows. Every show is sold out. It's such a good show.
The way I deboed myself into Adweek's Apollo to see her, and I spilled red wine. Sorry to that white person, whoever they are, that has red wine on their jeans currently, because I was screaming at the top of my lungs and acting like I was her backup vocalist. Like, I was screaming.
That's so funny.
Like, they were like, you like this song, huh? I was like, I like all the songs. Okay, thank you. Sorry to them and they jeans. I don't think they were boot cut.
Sorry to you. Shout out to then they
they deserve to go.
You throw them away anyway. But yeah, if you have not checked out Heaux Tales, Motels, make sure you do. And also Shanti's on there, so big shout out to her with her tail, with her little sweet voice. I was like, this girl, she has such a little sweet voice.
It's so cute.
Every time I hear it, she's like, I was in love once, and like, she's so cute. But moving right along, baby, I was talking to another friend of ours, Chi. Shout out to Chi, know you are. And, he was asking me about Valentine's Day, and she's always on me like, oh, hey, these are your prime time years. What are you doing? Like, you got to get out here. You don't get out here. You don't put yourself out here. Yada, yada. I'm like, you don't try to help me either. You have this plethora of men around you that are doing their thing. Girl, I know. I see your face. He was like, what you mean? I introduced you. Like, that's his way. I'm like, that's nothing. You just said, oh, this is my homie A. You didn't set anything up for me. If anything, you let me down completely. So thank you. But he told me, he was like, hey, you just got to get on apps. And my whole heart was like, no. I was like, gee, I do not want to do that. So I'm telling you, just got to get on apps, just start going out with folks and see how it goes. Like, what do you have to lose? He's like, yeah, you're going to get some weirdos on there, but you just block them and keep it pushing. Like, whatever. So he was telling me about, all these people he knows that are on apps and it's been successful for them because, he's booed up with his lady. Mm-hmm. And I sat there and I actually, because I'm insane, started Googling apps, dating apps. And which ones were the most successful, how to go on the app, what to do. And I'm like, okay, seeming like everybody is really on this Hinge thing, say less. And I'm just like, I downloaded it and stared at it and never set it up. I was like, I can't do this. I just can't do it. It's a lot.
I have been on it.
You're on Hinge.
I was. So I did a brief stint in the Bay. I was there for 2 years, aka a bid, when I started working at Twitter. And one thing they don't tell you about the Bay is because it's full of tech bros and socially awkward engineers, and there's nowhere to like really go out. Like, no one is going out and like approaching you. Like, men will stare at you and be like, "That's flirting." Like, just in the party, like. And I was like, I can't. I'm used to assertive New York. I've literally dated no one else other than New York men. So like, I'm not used to this. So usually getting on Hinge and Tinder were the things in the Bay. It's not awkward because everybody's on it. So I have been on it, and I have been on it in New York. And I've actually met people who I've had not long-term relationships, but we've dated for a few weeks, maybe even 2-3 months. And it wasn't horrible. I mean, it's very awkward either way, but when you get I don't want to say a gem because obviously we're not still together, but when you get a good time and you have somebody have that moment with somebody and you realize there's a connection, it's actually not that bad. It's very awkward at the beginning, especially when you see people that you know are on it.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I'll click the X really quick, they can see me currently looking at them or something. It's very weird, but I'm they're on it too. So I don't like when people bring it up to me. There's been times where
I saw you on such and such.
There's been times where people have screenshot me and texted to me and was I see you out here. Please don't see me.
Kill me.
Please don't
do that.
To this day, it's not, that text is unanswered. Don't see me. Imagine you didn't see. I didn't see you. Please give me the same courtesy. I would like reciprocity and you ignoring me as I did you.
That's so fucking weird, yo. No.
And one of my homeboys told me, they were if they're mentioning it, maybe this is their way of shooting their shot without using the app. And I was wow, I'm really oblivious.
Maybe.
I hope not, because I'm also very oblivious, so I hope not. But I wouldn't have, if it was, I probably wouldn't have engaged with it anyway. So.
Oh my God. So wait, so why are you off the app then?
I just kind of got to the point where I'm right now in the point of my life where I don't have that energy. It's a lot of energy to go through someone's profile, do the small talk. And then depending on the day, you can have multiple matches and you're just I gotta talk to all of these niggas and ask them what their day was like.
Too much. It's a job.
It's a job. And then I know I've been told multiple times I'm really one of the pickiest person that my friends know. There's those memes that are oh, I don't like him because his eyes are too far apart. That's me. I'd be wow, this nigga can't breathe any quieter out his nose.
Yeah.
They were damn, the nigga can't have air. And I'm not so loud. So I'm trying not to be that person. And I know I'm very particular. So I'll have conversations and one thing will turn me off. And it's so much energy to try to get past that I'm picky thing.
Mm-hmm.
No offense to anybody, but niggas who say they have a fashion line and stuff like that, I'm not wearing your shirt all the time to support you. I have my own shirts. I don't want to wear money over holes every single day. I gotta go to work. So I don't want to wear a fashion line every day. And I know that sounds crazy, but I just know.
No, it doesn't. I think that we might be the same person.
It's just, it's why? And I know I'll see a cute guy and I'll go down. I'm okay. I read the prompts because you need to have a personality. I read the prompts and then I'll get to the last picture and there'll be a fedora. And I'm see, no. I know.
Yeah, I might be oh, a fedora. He don't give a fuck about nothing. He's ready to love.
See, people see my fro and then they see these multiple nose rings and they think I'm Neo Soul and they don't realize
Hotep Queen.
Yeah, they think I'm Neo Soul and they don't know I'm Remy Ma. I just like piercings. Please don't. I'll give you the Palo Santo. I do my meditations in the morning and then I also listen to See Murder every morning. So it's a duality. So, but you can't see that on Hinge. They see me and they see a shea butter queen. And I'm no, please keep you in your fedora and your unlined up hair away from me.
Oh, see, being from Philly, when I see a bad cut, it feels like such a violation. Or a beard that doesn't connect, violation.
I can't.
Or just
I don't mind the beard not connecting because I understand
their patchy beard.
Not if it's moisturized and you could tell that they're trying, they comb it through. Because not everybody beards connect, and I can't.
A patchy beard, just don't have it. Then you can't have a beard.
No, some people look good with like a little patch. I can deal with it.
Patchy?
God didn't give me it.
You mean like patch?
No.
I'm talking about like where it's like peak. Like,
oh no, I don't want it to be like, I want you to look like you combed it out and it looks like this, even maybe just like a little lighter than the rest. I can't deal with like an untamed patchy beard. Baby. But God didn't give me an ass, so I know everybody don't have their faults. Everybody has their faults. So I can't judge you.
God gave me more breasts than ass too.
So I can't judge you for having a patchy beard. But a fedora, I'm not dealing with. I miss men having Caesars. Like a Caesar and a bald head, love. Once you start getting to the executive
I love a bald head. But I need a bald head with a beard. That's the Philly.
Yeah.
That's the Philly. I can't. I'm a product of my environment. I would say I need to get on there. You know what? This is going to be a new thing. Is that I'm actually going to get on there and come on here and talk about the shit that I see.
Oh.
And talk about where we've gone wrong.
I have stories for days. So if anything, you're getting content for the podcast.
I know. I can't wait, actually, because the way God plays with me and my dating life, I know I'm going to have a whole bunch of shit to talk about.
So I didn't mention at the beginning, but I have a podcast with my homeboys called Same Energy. It's very ratchet.
Yeah, she didn't mention that. I was reading, I completely forgot. Is that a secret?
No, it's not. It's just we haven't recorded. Life came at all of us fast for 2021, so we haven't recorded since July. But we decided that we just like missed each other and started recording again last week. And because it was Valentine's Day, we talked about my bad date experiences. And when you can tell me that you went on a date with a man in a wheelchair who didn't tell you that he was in a wheelchair, you can call me. Because
baby, I really should say this. I was communicating. This was a minute ago. It wasn't a wheelchair, but he was mentally disabled. Okay. And I was not aware until
the date.
No, I never went on a date with him. He was fine. Okay. I remember sending him to Shanti and she was like, oh, God damn, what the? So she was like, this got to be a catfish. We both were like, this got to be
something got to be off.
This is years ago. So we were communicating very small talk. Like it wasn't a lot. And then I ended up being at Ode to Babel. And he was like, oh, come, like, I'm going to come through or whatever. Like, I'm going to come over there and see you. And he did. And I saw in his eyes that it didn't all connect. And I said, oh, he's
and
not well.
I understand exactly what you're saying. The vacant look.
Am I done? The vacant look. I ended up leaving because I was like, I got to get out of here because he was being very strange. And then he proceeded to continue to hit me up and be like, why did you break my heart? And then it started to unravel. And I was like, wow, we might have spoke for like a week and a half. And then he was like, I'll give you everything you want, and started sending me pictures of his credit cards. But when I looked at the credit cards, I was like, oh my God, these are not his credit cards. These are in a woman's name. So I was like, okay. I was like, sir, do you live with anybody? Is there anybody that he was like, yeah, my mom. And then he started sending me pictures of his cat. And when he was sending me pictures and videos of him and his cat, I was like, oh, he's actually mentally, he's slow. I don't know the correct terminology.
Mentally disabled. It's fine.
Mentally disabled, but he was like a little underdeveloped mentally. Like he had the mind of like a child a bit. So he's sending me these videos of him and his cat, and he's talking like a child. It's a grown, fine ass man. So it's like, okay. So I started talking to him like, okay, I was like, is your mom with you? Do you live with your mom? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, do you mind giving me her phone number? And he was like, why? I was like, I just want to meet her if we're going to go out. And so I called her to be like, I'm so sorry. I think your son is giving me your credit card information. And he's also on a dating app. She was like, oh my God, he's not supposed to be on there. He keeps doing this. I was like, okay, no problem.
Thank you.
But that was my experience. So shout out to, people with disabilities. They got to get it cracking too.
No, I understand. My youngest brother has.
But the wheelchair thing happened on Curb Your Enthusiasm. And that's
I didn't even know that because I just started watching Curb. But my youngest brother has Asperger's. He has autism. And
Okay.
regularly I'm like, I know this little fool is going to fuck up and do something and like get on a dating.
Why?
No, I know he's going to get on a dating app and because he wants.
But he has to.
We were watching,
or not get on a dating app, but he needs to.
No,
date.
absolutely. I'm definitely not one of those people. My mother babies him. I'm definitely not one of those people that be like, oh my God, he has autism. I'm like, get your ass outside. If you don't get on that bus, you know how to use the Metro card. You knew how to code a whole website. You know how to swipe a Metro card. Like,
right. He just needs to tell people.
Yeah,
up front.
But I'm nervous that he's gonna be so excited at the possibility of finding a partner that one day we're gonna wake up and like it's gonna be like someone Tinder Swindler him. Like,
let's get into that because I bring all this up to say that I downloaded that app and then watched Tinder Swindler. And
that was like, a horrible decision.
My dumb ass. Back in the day, I think my dumb ass would have taken a loan out for somebody. That's how fucking. I have given people large amounts of money, like not like $1,000, not like $5,000. Like,
you had $5,000 to give, so shout out to you because
no, I mean like more than that, like much.
Okay,
like I have emptied accounts to help somebody who was quote unquote about to get locked up, needed to get himself out of some trouble, whatever.
Wow, look at you being a ride or die.
No more. I don't want to die anymore.
I'm a walk and live type of bitch. So
thank you. So I was watching that and thinking like, oh my God, Antoinette, thank God your dumbass was not doing this kind of shit 5 years ago, 3 years ago. Just 3 years ago, I was still trying to quote unquote help people. Mm-hmm. And I really had to have some hard conversations with myself about that. But $250,000 in loans from a Negro that you slept with twice, maybe.
One of the girls didn't,
and then she said she went right back on Tinder.
the last line of the show really took me out, where she was like, "Of course, we're all looking for love." I was like, "Baby girl,"
and she kept calling she kept calling him her boyfriend. Mm-hmm. If y'all have not watched this, y'all need to watch this shit and watch how sick we are.
Mm-hmm. I don't even think that we could spoil it for people because there's no way.
It's called Tinder Swindler.
There's no way you can literally imagine the nonsense that goes on in it. Like I had a general idea of what was going to happen, and then I watched it and I was like,
it's different.
I was just, the whole time I had this face on. Like, I was just like,
watching it, hearing him, seeing him. And I was like, I can actually see how he met their moms. He did this. And you Google him and it says that he's a billionaire. It says all this stuff.
Private jets.
The private jets. He's literally... It's a Ponzi scheme. Like, he was literally taking it from one woman, do it, and just, it was circular. I was like,
credit cards upon credit. When they did the screenshot of him saying to pawn her car, I said, wow.
Girl, I said, now that's where I would have stopped and been like, pawn my car. Wait, I don't think this is healthy. But I didn't know. Y'all just need to watch it.
Your reaction was me, because I was just like,
but I love the last girl,
the best one, my favorite. Like, I love a petty.
It didn't take her much. Yeah, she was like, "Watch me work."
She said, "I was on the plane on the way to see him." When she was cackling about how she stole it, what you call it? When she was selling his clothes, stole the clothes and was selling it. I was like, mood.
I love to hear
mood, because
and she still didn't get anywhere near what he took from her.
Yeah, again, spoiler alert. The thing that really took me out was he only went to jail for 5 months for the crimes he committed at home. He did not have any accountability for the money he stole from it was estimated.
He's back at it.
He was estimated to have stolen $10 million from women, and all of them have to pay it back.
But the problem is, did he really steal
it's
it?
Not, no, because he asked them and they willingly did it. And all the cars
took the shit out in
their names.
Their names. So you took it out.
My enemies.
He said my enemies was getting me. I could not wait to talk about my enemies.
Listen,
I'm like, how many fucking enemies
I kept seeing the jokes around Twitter. I'm like, I understand, but I didn't get it. But hearing him talk about his enemies, my enemies are after me. They're the ones who are calling you. They're the ones who created this article. I'm like, bro.
Yeah.
And they believed him.
He wasn't even that cute.
He glowed up though from that original passport picture.
He did. He glowed
He
up.
may not be cute for us, but for the Europeans, he's probably like top notch. And he was swaggy. All the little pieces, the Fendi sweaters. I was like, hold on now. I didn't even know this piece was out.
I don't care about that stuff. It's not boot cut, so it wasn't.
I almost pushed myself back from this podcast. I almost want to.
It wasn't giving what I needed to give.
Again.
Well, I tell you, if you have what is that, hour and a half of time, please.
Not even. It was almost 2 hours, but it was worth it.
Oh, really?
It was long as hell.
It was I turned it on during my workout and was like, wow. Mm-hmm. I was on my yoga mat stuck looking at that shit like, I thought my life was bad. He is back at it. He is in Lamborghinis and shit again.
With an Israeli model as his girlfriend and back on Tinder.
Oh my God. Y'all, please, if you see the Tinder Swindler, do not swipe.
Somebody's going to swipe on him just because he's famous.
Probably.
And now thinking he has money of his own because he has these promotions and stuff like that. He's now like doing his legal fees and stuff like that. His business advice. That's what it is.
Oh God. Yeah. I forgot. Child.
I hate man.
311 call. In other news, I said I wanted to be out this group chat, but they just won't let us out. Kim and Kanye. Listen, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this.
Please don't.
I just saw. What'd you say?
I can't. I said let's not.
No,
I can't because they are.
No, it's gonna be quick. Let's make this quick. I just want, and I think for the most part, the Around the Way Curls listeners will know this, but what Kanye is doing is not love. This is manipulation, gaslighting. It's harassment. Mm-hmm. It is so many things. It's not love. And I was so disheartened to see how many women were commenting under his post with hearts, with Kanye forever. We hope you guys get back together. And I was like, I hope Kim slams him with so many fucking lawsuits and shuts him up. And she's still being nice. Even in the text that he posted, she's like, this is not okay. Like, she's still being nice because deep down, I really believe this woman cares for him and knows that he's not
100%.
Well.
I think she realizes he is mentally off, and it took her a long time to leave him because of that fact that she loves him. Yes. And she realizes that like he's not mentally there all the way, or he's had some really traumatic experiences.
Yes.
And now she had to do what's best for her and her child. And his anxious attachment style is mixing with his Gemini and kicking all the way the fuck in. Like,
and it's love bombing. It's all. I feel sorry for that other girl.
Yeah,
the one that he just paraded around,
and they broke up
around for a month.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't sound like he broke up with her. It sounded like she saw his shit and was like, I don't have to deal with this.
Julia Fox, that's her name. I remember.
Oh, that's her name. Okay, I don't know nothing about that girl, but good luck. I'm sorry, but like this is not okay.
It's not.
This man has publicly dated multiple women, is now screenshotting text messages from his wife, is having people harass her new partner, calling him Skeet, which is hilarious.
But also, I laughed, so let's not. Right. Sorry for
also fucked up. It's just there's so much wrong with this, and it's really so sad. And if you, it's because I was laughing at it a bit because this is captions when he did the little heart. And he was like, because you're my favorite person, heart. I was like, this is so manipulative. And
he's like, why would I post my favorite person? I want to show you off. I'm like,
nuts. And that's the thing is that I think that Kanye West is highly intelligent as well. But I think that he's not able to handle he just has certain triggers that he's not able to handle in the same way that he might be able to handle like a business deal or some shit. But like also you have your Netflix documentary coming out. So what is this all for? Like it's all very confusing. But either way, this is the woman who carried 3 of your kids. One, they had whatever, the surrogate. But like your hand was on my stomach while my child was growing. I had my first kid with you. Like you watched me give birth. Like we fell in love. Like we need to bring the humanity back into the situation. Like there are moments
that you're never going to have with anybody else.
Right. And she has honored that and said like, nobody's going to be able to do it like him. But like, I have everything in the world. What I want right now is like normalcy. I want to chill. I want to have somebody with me, but like, we're making fun of this whole thing. And I just want to say like, there's still grief happening.
She's still
for the kids.
She's divorced her husband. Like, I don't think that he
won't let her divorce.
But what I'm saying is she's trying to. Like, she's separated from her husband. And I don't think that she wants to be. It's just the way he has literally unraveled in front of our eyes these last few. And as much as I think that Kanye is a lunatic, I am like, I can never ignore college dropout Kanye. I can never ignore early Kanye. And I realize that's the same person, but your mom died. You got, I can't imagine what being this famous looks like. I tell everybody all the time, I never want to be famous because I don't think I'll ever be able to handle fame or anything like that.
It's a different reality.
And if you're not mentally prepared for it, you unravel. And if he's such a creative genius. I can't imagine what goes through that mind, and to not have the mental support to deal with all of this. I don't blame him for unraveling. I just wish that he would, one, realize he's unraveling and seek help, but also, two, really find like the love and I don't even know what the word is. Like, I'm still reading all about love, but we're at the point where we talk about love ethic, the love ethic for Kim, like realizing that you love this person. And even if it's not like perfect or y'all are together, just realizing that you can love this person without getting anything back, and realizing this, all she wants is some sanity and some peace. She want to make us some popping undergarments. She want to take her pictures
because they are
Skims is, baby. I didn't want to admit it. I didn't want to admit it first. Skims is fire, and she just wants to get her money and live with her kids and just enjoy her life. And he's making everything public, and I'm very much
because that's all he knows now.
Yeah, and
he's stuck in his own like Truman Show.
I'm an astrology girl, which is I know some people are like, I don't believe in astrology, but I'm very much an astrology girl. And he is being a typical Gemini man. Like when he wants something, especially a woman, he's going to go crazy, and then he's going to get her back, and it's going to be the same exact cycle. Like,
I hope she stays far away from him in all honesty.
Me too. I want him to get help. Like I want him to be, I don't want to say committed as a joke, but I really want him to be committed in the fact where I want him to take a minute and remove himself from all of this and be still and really get his mind right. Like, I think that's what he needs. And hopefully he comes back out Kanye West and not Yeezus. Oh, because that's what I think that's where we lost him, was Yeezus.
Yeah.
The rants at the concerts, that's where we lost him. And I want Kanye West back. And I'm hoping he comes back to himself soon.
Prayers up for the two of them.
Seriously, and the babies.
Ain't no winners in that, and the babies. Verzuz, Music and Anthony Hamilton. I'd like to say that Music won, but go ahead, Queen. Because we had words about this.
So I feel like we need to have categories because song-wise, Music won. Song-wise, hand down, Music won.
He whooped his ass.
Vocally, though, baby. Vocally.
This is not a concert. It's 20.
It is a concert. There were tickets in the audience. It was a concert.
We're not going to talk about that. Music, all right, unpopular opinion. Ready?
Okay.
Anthony Hamilton didn't sound as good as everybody wanted to make him sound. Anthony Hamilton had some control issues. And I said, sir, your diaphragm is not doing what it's supposed to be doing.
So
now music just tried to do too much. Okay. Mm-hmm. Those runs was running away. They was running away.
They were actually walking away like he stubbed his pinky toe. That's what they were doing. The riffs were getting away. The riffs were getting away from him. They were. And he had Robert D. Glasper giving him all the chords that he ever needed in life. And baby, he couldn't find one of them. He couldn't find one.
But that's when you got to know what you do. Music. Don't do that. Mm-mm. You don't have to go up there and
he didn't have to show off for us.
Improv. You don't have to do that. Maybe that's not what you do. Maybe you try some shit out in the studio, you perfect it, and you sing it one of three ways each and every time.
But you're saying maybe like we didn't see directly in front of us last night that's literally what he does not do.
That is, he doesn't do that, okay? He doesn't do it.
And I think that it's been known for years. Like, it's not, last night wasn't the first time that people have said that Musiq Soulchild isn't the best live performer.
Because he's doing too much.
He is.
Because the songs, when he got to his A-side shit, he was on it. He was on the note. For the most part.
Love.
For the most part.
Yeah, there we go. Words means things.
For the most part, he was on it. But he was just doing too much. Sir, you know what it is? When you come from Philly, there's this tradition there of this improv and having this ear, these runs, Jasmine, Patty, all this shit, and you got it in your head where you're like, oh shit, I gotta do this. That's not what I do. I sing. That's not what I do. I can't do that. Yeah. I can rehearse some shit, get it down, and then I can kill it. Okay?
And I wish he took that same mentality.
And I wish, just stay in your motherfucking lane. Just do what you do. If you wanted to sing it exactly like the record, we would have took it and been happy. As soon as la 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 la, as soon as it
we
came
would
on,
have been fine. And I will say, I'm going to give both of them some grace. And again, I'm a producer. I work with sound. I do all that nonsense. And the sound was off. Whoever was doing the show run really didn't let them know beforehand, like didn't really call them properly, like they weren't calling the times properly, they weren't communicating properly, like there was a lot of miscommunication. And
agreed.
It was just a lot of things that were like, I was literally, my eye was twitching, like listening to it.
Yeah, I was like, who is the producer on this? Where's the stage manager? Who prepped these people?
What is happening? Like, even
why are certain songs going to the end?
Yeah, like,
and not others.
It was parts where, like, when music was literally on the phone, like, how many songs the microphone? I'm like, first of all, somebody tell him put the microphone down and tell him to come to the side, let Anthony Hamilton sing, and then you'll clarify what. So there,
but also, like, why is the sound person, as soon as he's done singing, his mic should be off?
100%.
Most artists are like, why would you keep
my microphone on? Why isn't somebody cut his mic? However, Mouse Jones said that music came out looking like a back pocket. And
first of all, that Denim Daddy did his thing. I wanted that. I said, if you gonna do it, you better. Listen, we had a Sankofa moment. Go back and fetch it. I want denim. All I needed was the head wrap, Queen. I was like, if you would have given us the head wrap,
I thought he was going to come out with the head wrap. I was a little bit disappointed about the fitted, but then he came with
the cropped denim hoodie.
It was, and the thing is, I thought it was cotton and denim, and then they did a close up, and I realized it was corduroy. It was corduroy on top, denim.
A king. That's even better. That is the neo soul.
And then it had an elastic band, which usually when you hear the word elastic means to tighten. It was loose. It was a loose.
I'm here for it.
I'm glad you were.
I was like, if he would have come out there and looked cool, I would have been annoyed. I'm like, this is not the music that I want.
I didn't want him to look cool, but I feel like he tried to look good.
I wanted,
and the fitted is what made me feel like.
Oh, you think he tried?
I think he tried, and I was just like,
he should have had one of them little floppy neo soul hats.
Fedora, the neo soul signature.
But it had to be the floppy one. It had to be a floppy one.
And then people were like, "Well, how y'all talk about music's fit and Anthony Hamilton? Anthony Hamilton has been on brand since we met him. Point of it all,
yeah, Anthony looked like Anthony.
Anthony looked like Anthony. I'm actually shocked that, as he should be, because that host,
them leather. I said, sir, you are sweating.
That man, I said, did you find a leather parasuco?
Yo.
First of all, he was hot in the leather, and then he was hot, like, emotionally at the host, Jack Thriller. Is that his name?
Oh my God.
I wanted him gone.
On Black History Month, you called that man a runaway.
He said, "Come get out here, Frederick Douglass." And I said, I have a friend who works for Thriller. And I was like seconds away from like DMing them. Like, please tell that man to shut up. Because like,
he got the message though.
He did, but I feel like
he shut up.
He did. I feel like somebody literally did the meme and was like, go ahead and log out for me, baby. Like, you gotta relax. Cause he was doing bad at the beginning.
Even music was like, what are you doing?
Yeah. And then you coming out there with this leather parasuco fit, like bedazzled parasuco.
That shit.
It was terrible. And then you're going to talk about this man's outfit? I said, listen, we didn't need a host.
Well, we don't need a host.
Mouse and I...
Jermaine Dupri should have just hosted.
Yeah, Mouse and Naima made a good point. Like, we missed the aspect of the storytelling, which was like the thing for Verzuz with us. I think that's the thing that gave, again, biased because I'm a storyteller.
Yeah, you tell how you recorded it, why you recorded it.
Yeah, like T-Pain and Little John loved that one. They were going back and forth. They were telling jokes.
Okay.
Like, and
that's an early one that was when it was not all this production and shit.
And Teddy Riley deserves an apology, but that's another conversation because he tried to bring us where we are at now. He was just ahead of his time.
Well, the people who brought us here really was
Beanie Man and Bounty Killer.
Yes, Beanie and Bounty.
But Teddy Riley tried. He tried to get us to that, and nobody was with it. Nobody was with it. We were laughing at him.
Because it didn't work.
It didn't work, but we were laughing at him. Nobody supported him. It's not going to work with no support. Nobody supported him. And then now, look, if I was Teddy Riley, I'd be tweeting Verzuz every day. Pissed. Like, another production, huh? Like, but I think that last night, even through the jokes and the sloppy runs and Anthony Hamilton sweating through his wide brim hat, I think that it was still an amazing ode to R&B.
I loved it.
I forgot about certain songs that Anthony Hamilton did, and just remembering the times that I felt when music brought those. I think music's first album is top 10 R&B albums of.
It was a great album.
So I'm not
to be in Philly. That was when Philly was giving y'all everything you needed.
Philly.
That was music. That was chill. That was flowetry. We was out here. Like, watch us work.
At Barber's Hall listening to this with 20 Cent Wings on a Tuesday. It was a time. Wow. It was a time.
I will say, the last thing I'll say is that music had one of the best counter punches I've seen on Verzuz, because when nobody knew Anthony Hamilton wrote that goddamn Donnell Jones song. Everybody was like, the fuck? And then brought Donnell Jones out, and Donnell was terrible.
With his embossed leather jeans.
We was all jamming like, damn, music can't. And I said, wow, he got to hit him with Half Crazy. Half Crazy came on, and I forgot about Lucky Days.
Completely forgot about Lucky Days.
Sample of that, and then he brought Lucky out. I said, amazing counterpunch. I think he won that round with that counter.
Yes. I think that Donnell Jones is like,
he messed it up.
He messed it up a little bit because he didn't remember the words. Anthony actually had a few, because Nappy Boy didn't remember.
Anthony came in early on that song, too.
Nappy Boy didn't remember his lyrics either. If you recall, he was just like, and like Anthony Hamilton had to start rapping for him, and I was like, this is pointless now because you were supposed to be a feature. But
he could have listened to that on the car ride over.
Like, you only had a few songs, so you could have remembered your most popular one. Like, work with me, player. But I think Donnell Jones appealed to like nostalgia, and Lucky Day was like more present. So like they both hit differently, even though they hit great. So it's hard for me to say who won that round. But if I have to go just on like how I felt like shock value, I would say I would I didn't think Lucky Day was going to come out. So that's why I'll give it to music.
So you're saying music. You can say
I was going to say.
You can say Music Soul Child.
Music Soul Child.
Ate Anthony Hamilton's ass the fuck up.
I think that you're going too far with the ate him up situation. I think we're just going a step too far. However, music won, without a doubt. Ate him up.
And not with the C, with the Q.
Yeah.
You mean
Music Soul Child. Let me say the whole thing so you can understand. Music Soul Child definitely won the verses. However,
you don't have to do it. We're here now.
All right. Let's move on. Okay. Shout out to Philly.
We have a voice.
Shout out to Philly.
You a hater, yo. I don't know if you're a real Philly joint. I just don't know. Because we ride for hours. Every time he hit a bad run, I said, okay.
I ride for mine, but I'm not going to let you not know. I ride for mine because I help us work on getting better.
That king was going to find a note one way or another. He always got back, okay? Found his way.
Yeah, he always did. He absolutely found his way home. Shout out to
that
him.
One meme, though, that joke was hilarious, but the girl was like, it's like a picture of her doing this, and she was like, I don't know about y'all, but these runs been kicking music ass all night. I was like, yo.
Listen, when Fran
that monkey that she posted,
when I tell you, Fran had me weak. I said, Fran, I can't do, because that monkey was confused.
She didn't even write anything.
She didn't say nothing, and we all knew.
We all knew what she was talking about.
Fran's so sweet. She be trying not to. She was telling people in the comments. She was like, they can see the tweets, y'all. Like, I'm like, Fran, we know.
They can see the tweets.
She's so sweet. I love Fran. Shout out to Fran.
No, I screenshotted that monkey so fast. I said, wow, I got to use this for so many things. But we have a voicemail. It's the older voicemail I've been promising to play. And I thought that it would be perfect for this episode, given our guest. So I'm going to play it right now.
Hey, y'all. My name is Maya, and I probably should have prepared a little bit more for this, but I was listening to your latest podcast, and I just felt really compelled to finally leave a message. I've been wanting to leave it for a while. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I went to Temple in Philly, and I actually got to meet Shanti through an interview through Philadelphia Magazine, just spotlighting Table Collective and how wonderful it is, and what a great spot it is in Philly. And ever since then, I just kept continually listening to the podcast. Currently, I live in upstate New York. I'm in a grad program studying African American studies and women's studies, and it was kind of like this golden opportunity for me, like where I'm being paid to be a TA, they pay for where I live, and I feel like when I initially committed to this, I was so excited, and there was so much possibility, and now, I guess, what I'm reaching out to talk about is how do you navigate feeling like you're behind, or how do you navigate being in the next step in your life, or the next stage of your life as a woman where, you're alone, you're newly independent, trying to figure out who you are, trying to figure out your relationships. And if either of y'all have ever done that while you were alone, because I moved up here by myself. I didn't know anyone. And it's been really challenging, trying to be this person that I expected myself to be, but by myself, in such a different space, in a predominantly white space. So I feel like I'm kind of talking in circles, but I wonder, what sort of guidance do you have for a young woman that is learning how to be independent and all the struggles that come with that, like budgeting, saving money, navigating relationships, your work-life balance, all of that stuff. And I'm also growing out my hair. I just cut off all of my hair. So there's that too. But yeah, I'm not sure if any of this made any sense, but I hope you guys listen to this. Have a good one.
It made all the sense. queen.
All the sense was made.
Especially that cutting your hair off, because the good sis had a Caesar in 2016. So,
and look at you now, killing it.
Wow. And listening to that voicemail sound like I was listening to myself.
Same. It's I want to be like, how did she say how old she was? She didn't.
No, but she said
it sounded like she's
20 something. I'm gonna go with like, because she said that, you know, they're giving her housing and stuff like that. So I'm feeling like mid to like, I want to say she's probably up to like 27. If she's and I'm giving 27. I want to say 25. And it is, wow. It's definitely, I'm laughing because I knew what we were, like, I knew the premise of what the voicemail was going to be, but to actually like hear it and like be like, wow, I think I've had this exact conversation myself. It's completely different. But yeah, the part about it that really is just kind of like learning to do things by yourself really hit me, because we probably have never talked about this, but I was engaged. I was with somebody for 8 years and engaged at one point. I was engaged when I was 25 to 26. And then we broke up right around my 26th birthday. And in my head, I'm like, a new man's coming. I'm gonna be single for like a year or two and just get 11 years later. I'm still single. And it's like having to navigate life when you are so used to like having a partner or doing all this stuff. I feel like it amplifies all that stuff. So like, even when I moved, having to figure out how to paint and like going through life by yourself, and you're like, why do I have to put air in my motherfucking tires by myself? Like, how do I put this gauge in? Like, it's disheartening. But I think the thing that, like, when she said, like, how do you navigate it? The first thing that came to my mind was grace. Like, grace is the thing that I think will get you through anything, because very rarely do we have grace for ourselves. We have a lot of grace for everybody else, friends, lovers, whoever. But when it comes to ourselves, it hits us harder, and we don't have the grace for our alone times, or feeling emotional at the fact that we're so blessed, but we're missing a partner. Like, so yeah, that voicemail really just, it touched my spirit.
I think a couple things for me, especially when she brought up the predominantly white space, I started thinking about, I know she said she's going to grad school, but I started thinking about when I went to college. And I went to college in a Upper East Side private school. And I was, even as I present, was one of the darkest faces in the space, child, and was like, what the hell? And was really lonely, and was just coming into like adulthood, was really poor. And I was around a lot of rich folks that just had more resources than I did, really unhappy, and really struggling. And then wanting really, and I had been at the top of my game in every other space that I had occupied. I was always top percentile of this, and this, excelled at whatever I was doing. But here I felt very much behind, and like, oh, y'all got this, y'all got that. Oh, you went here. Oh, okay. Wow. And so it was really difficult, because I put a lot of pressure on myself to be great and to be X, Y, and Z. And I felt very alone. And so one thing that I did was I tried to focus on one thing at a time. She listed a lot of stuff. She listed her hair, her budgeting, her relationships, her work life. But like, you can't do it all right at once. And especially at the age, and especially in grad school. So that's where the grace comes in, of like, write down all the things that you want to do and understand that there's time to do them. Like, even at 30, how old am I? I can't remember, 34, I do not have it all figured out at all. Like, there's a meme that says, this girl's like, oh, I do not want to be trying to figure out my life at 30. And somebody responded and was like, who's going to tell me?
That's my homegirl.
You're not
that responded that.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
oh, really?
Yeah, it's Thule the Menace.
It's just like, you're not going to have it figured out. And when I get to 40, I'm probably still going to be like, oh, wow. Because there's always going to be things that I'm trying to get better at. And it sounds like, Maya, the same is for you. So I would say write down all of the things that you are trying to, or not trying to, but that you are going to focus on, and then prioritize them. And be realistic about what you can focus on right now. And maybe you can do some of all of it. So maybe if it's relationships, maybe it's just, okay, I'm just going to say hello to a new person at least every 2 days. I'm just going to say hello, right? Or I'm going to reach back out to the people who I knew from my hometown, or call a family member, right? If it's budgeting, girl, you can find so much shit on YouTube. First thing I want you to look up is compound interest. Do me that favor and look up compound interest, dead ass, and then watch, what is it? The Credit Cards Explained quick 30-minute thing on Netflix.
I have never watched it. I might have to watch it myself.
Oh, you need to watch it. It will tell you everything you need to know about how to use a credit card, how not to use a credit card, how to make credit cards work for you. And then you look up compound interest. If you understand those things, you will be 50% ahead of the game for all of your financial shit moving forward. And just know that, like, maybe write down your progress. It sounds like you're already taking leaps. You've moved somewhere. You've found a place, a program that's going to pay for your housing. You're figuring out how to do it as you go. So you're already way ahead of the game, because there's so many folks that can't even figure that out, or who don't have the courage to take the leap of faith and be uncomfortable for a little while. It's always, comparison is the thief of joy. Like, we look at it where other people are at, and we're like, why don't I have a partner? Or why am I not like this? And you don't realize how far you've come. You don't realize how much strides you've made. And we have this notion that we are literally trying to, like, by 30, we should have it all together. I am 37, girl. And the thing I've learned two lessons. Younger than me, child. Huh? I said, looking younger than me, child. Ain't a wrinkle. No,
I was like, you look young as hell. When you said you were 34, I was like, did she tell me this?
Girl, I have so much concealer on, but go ahead.
Shout out to Ami Cole, because this is definitely a tinted moisturizer. I was like, I can't embarrass myself on this. But I've learned two real life lessons that I think I take with me, but I will also give to you. Is one, stop thinking you're going to have it figured out. Because I know people who are 60 and 70 that you don't have it figured out. I'm not saying that you need to be like still no budget, things like that. Like, there's obviously things to adults, but if you think that life is going to be completely understandable, then you are setting yourself up for failure right now. Like, you're never going to have life completely figured out, because there's always going to be a new thing to life that you've never experienced before. Girl, COVID came out. Nobody saw COVID coming. Those people were confused by COVID. So, like, you're never going to have everything figured out. And with all the stuff that you say that you're doing, the one thing I've taught myself is you can do anything, but you can't do everything. If you set yourself up to do everything, you are setting yourself up for failure. There has to be some intentionality, and you lose that when you try to do everything at one time. So give yourself grace, put a little intentionality behind it, and realize you can do anything you want. You just really can't do everything, or it's failure. Trying to really set yourself up for that is failure, whether you actually don't succeed in the goals or you don't mentally enjoy succession because you're so burnt out from trying to do everything at one time. It doesn't feel as good.
No. And also consider, you said earlier, language is important. Consider when we say we are alone, what that really means. because often we say we're alone, we're alone, we're alone. I am very guilty of it. I'm alone because I am not partnered. I'm alone. And I have so many people in my life that would say otherwise. Obviously, it's not somebody that's, taking out my goddamn trash, but there's a emotional support that I have that I think that I need to definitely honor a little bit more. And we're going to get into that because right now we're going to take a break. But I really appreciate, Maya, you reaching out. And if you have questions about the budgeting and things like that, I am an insane budgeter. So email us because I can send you the Excel sheet that I use where I track all of my spending every single day to make sure that I do not overspend and that I am paying myself every day down to the cent. If I spend $6 at the bodega, it goes on the spreadsheet and it's deducted.
Don't be surprised when you see me in your voicemails acting about budgeting.
I'm dead ass. Like, I'm not playing.
So am I. I'm trying to buy a condo.
It gets me going. I was like, this is why I'm doing it, because I want to buy property as well. So happy to share my Excel sheet with you. I have all the formulas in there and I just go that way. And I there's a lump sum of money that I pay myself to retirement and to savings every month. And I'm like, okay, here we are, whether I like it or not, you spent it. So it's deducted from what you have left.
Wow.
So you are staying inside. But anyway, thank you so much for calling. We are going to take a break. And when we get back, I think we're going to get into more about aloneness and what that means in relationship to love. So, Shanti's not here. After these messages, we'll be right back. Okay. And we are back. Well, let me write that down. So again, and we are talking about, off the heels of Valentine's Day, both of us. I don't know how you spent your Valentine's Day. I spent mine. I got my nails done. I went for a walk. I talked to my dad. I moved my car, came in.
Okay.
And took a bath and went to sleep. How did you do Valentine's Day?
So, I did spend the weekend with a gentleman friend.
Oh. A gentleman caller.
Yeah. As I like to call them, gentleman callers, friend. But, we just kind of started talking and I really appreciated that we had like a chill weekend. Like it wasn't like money long, hours and hours, real-esque. I didn't walk into like flowers or whatever. We just kind of were just like, it's Valentine's weekend. We want to spend some time together and we did. But actual Valentine's Day, I was not with him. And I don't know what he did, and nor do I care. I spoke to him, but he had work. I was off. So I took myself out and got myself a nice massage at the spa. I went grocery shopping at Trader Joe and bought myself some flowers. And my best friend from high school, one of my closest friends, she has 2 kids. But back in the day when we were like single, completely single, she's now married and divorced, so that's why I say single. But we used to go spend Valentine's Day together. There was this place in New Rochelle, literally right next to Chi's apartment, that we used to go to all the time, right on the corner, of course, on Buffalo Wild Wings. And they had lychee martinis and lobster pizza. And we thought we was like in Black Sex in the City. And we would literally spend every Valentine's Day there together eating lobster pizza and drinking lychee martinis. So the other day, she's in the midst of this divorce, and like the last 2 Valentine's Days, obviously probably still kind of hitting her, but I can see that she's like healing and coming back to herself. So I was just like, hey girl, you want to get the kids and go get dinner on Valentine's Day? And it was just so nice to start the tradition over again. And but now have it with her kids, because I adore her kids. Like, those are my children. So like, her son is 4. He saw me and he like was so excited. He bought me a bouquet of flowers, and he was like, I ordered you some bread because I know how much you like bread. And I was like, wow, a young king. What a king. So I I will say I love Valentine's Day regardless, no matter whether I'm partnered or not. This is probably the first Valentine's Day since I was engaged that I actually like spent it with a man intentionally, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. Because like we still weren't together on the day, but made plans with a man with Valentine's Day in mind. But I still love the day. Like I do things with my friends. I give my mom flowers. Like I am a big ass sap and I love love. So the day isn't like the commercial romantic day for me. It's just a reminder that love is in the air and we show it all the time, but especially today.
Got it. It's interesting. I had convinced myself for a long time that Valentine's Day was corny. I was one of these people that was like, oh, it's just this commercial holiday. So ridiculous. And I had to admit to myself, I think it was this Valentine's Day that like, damn, I would actually like to participate in this once. And not necessarily how it looks to everyone else, but just to be celebrated. I looked back on my Valentine's Day experiences, and the last one that I had was with my partner 5-6 years ago. I might be going on 7 at this point. I don't even know. But he was awful to me that day. And he had just done some dirt. So he was all fucked up in the head and looking at me crazy and projecting. But like we went to go see Gregory Porter. Like we did a whole thing. And I bought everything because he had just got an apartment. Like I didn't care. But he was awful to me. And so then I thought like, okay, well, before that, what happened? And I have never ever experienced Valentine's Day like with someone that I was dating ever. And I was just like, wow, how nice would that be? My Valentine's Day date was always Jasmine, and she was partnered now, but we would go to like in high school or like after school, like we would go and get like go on South Street and get some old bullshit food on South Street and think we were doing something.
But you were. That's the thing. You were.
No, I mean like doing something with the meal.
But you were.
You know, the meal was trash. But I just mean like we thought we were like whining and dining ourselves.
I mean,
and it was, like,
for that time, yes, it was. In high school,
in high school we were right.
So you was Michelin star eating at high school, take yourself out to eat.
Right. So I thought about that, and I intentionally, a couple years ago, of course, before the pandemic, took myself to a concert, and it was the Anita Baker concert. God. And I went by myself. I did not go with a group of friends. I literally just went. And I ended up being seated. It was crazy, next to my homegirls, directly next to my homegirls from the Curly Girl Collective. And I was like, this is God. Like, God didn't want me to be alone tonight. So we're singing the lyrics and having a good time. And that is all fine and dandy. Like, I can celebrate other people. This was the first year of my friend group where everyone else in my like close friend group here and in Philly, everyone is partnered. Everyone was doing something. And so I was just like, okay. And I got all of these very sweet texts, but they were pitiful. It was like, happy Valentine's Day, Internet. Love you. So for my friends, because I'm sure they have their own private chat, because we all do. We're like, there'll be one without Shanti or one without Jasmine, where if we're worried about the person, we hop on that chat. And obviously, because that's what we do. And so I was like, I can only imagine what the fuck they're talking about amongst themselves. Like, oh, I hope she's okay. It's like, I was fine. But I did feel that little like
inkling,
not an ache, but that yearning
tinge,
of like,
the
oh,
twinge.
That would be nice. Yeah, it's like a little something. And for the first time, I allowed myself to feel it. And it wasn't pity. I didn't pity myself, because I've definitely done that. We're like, oh, I'm always by myself. It wasn't that. It was that, it would be nice to do that. And it's okay for me to say that I would like to do that. I don't have that option this year. And I'm not going to die, but I still would like it. And like the two things can exist without me falling apart.
I will say.
And so that felt really good.
I will say I completely understand that, because that's me for the most part. Like, I hear a lot of what you say in myself. Like what you say, I'm just like, wow. So have we really not known each other before?
I know.
Because it's so weird because, like I said, I love Valentine's Day and I will celebrate it regardless. But it's also kind of like, at what point am I going to have someone to do it? Like even this year, which I never do, I initiated the conversation about it. I was like, we've been talking. I was like, do you want to do something for Valentine's Day? And he was like, yeah, of course. And I was like, oh, okay. And it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't completely like, oh my gosh, over the top romantic, like these rappers are doing for their girls on Instagram. Like all the $7,000 worth of.
Who's cleaning all that up?
Not me. So I'm like, that's fine. That's fine. Obviously they can afford a cleaning lady, but why waste those roses? Anyway, off topic. Would I like the romance stuff? It's taken me probably like 37 years to admit that yes. I don't want I don't want to have to clean up those rose petals, but I would have liked the romance behind it. But I had a really good weekend. Like we chilled, we went roller skating. Like it was very late. Yeah, it was very laid back, laughing at each other type things. But I will say, as great of a time as I had, I would have loved a little bit of romance. And that's okay. That's okay too, to be grateful for what I had, but still want a little bit more. So that's also something I had to teach myself.
It is. I had a conversation too, leading up to this. I was on my homegirls podcast, and my homie Obi and Nana, their Workday podcast. And we were talking about, her topic was the decentering romance, which was interesting for me. And so I kind of pushed back a little bit on the concept and it could be semantics, but I was saying that romance to me is the possibility of something.
Okay, right? Love Jones.
It's right. That's where I literally was like, I think I just fucking quoted Love Jones.
Literally. But
it really is. It's the possibility of it, that excitement under it. And I think that you can have that with yourself, like the possibilities. Like you can have romance with yourself. I'm still exploring how to do it because I'm also, and I might have said this one here, I'm reading this new book by Susan, I should have had it here, Sellersberg or something like that. And it's called, I should have had this as well, I think Real Love. But it's basically a practical guide to love.
Okay.
And love not in the sense of only partnership. So in her introduction, and I've reread it about 4 times already because it really struck me, where she talks about love and she's like, love is an ability. It's not this thing that is passed between people. Like it's not the UPS man is coming to your house and he has this package of love and he's either going to give it to you and you're going to feel great, or he's not going to give it to you and you're going to feel like shit. That's not how it works. Love is an actual ability. It's like, are you able to do it? Have you learned it? And if so, then you can be love. You don't just receive it. You don't just give it. You can actually be it and vibrate in it and do throughout the course of your day, whether you're alone, quote unquote alone, as we like to say, or partnered. You can be that. You can be that in how you care for your plants. You can be that in how you care for your pets. You can be that in just laying in bed and recognizing the miracle that you are. And it's very woo-woo.
Yeah, I was about to say this, but it also sounds like right up my alley because you saying this, I'm like, tell me more.
But and sometimes I'll be honest, I struggle. My ability is compromised. I'm like, girl, not today. I want someone to lay on top of me and tell me they love me in my ear as I have an orgasm. But other days, I'm able to really try to put it into practice of like, how am I caring for myself in this moment? Right? And I've been talking about how much I beg to work from home. I asked God to find me a job, a remote job, so many times. And baby, I still love it. I will never say I don't. I have not figured out how to take full advantage of it, of like the travel. Like I want to travel, but COVID got me scared to do all that shit. But the isolation of being in the house all the time. I'm like, ooh. So this is something that I've really had to put into practice as of late. And so that coupled with All About Love by Bell Hooks is it's such an interesting, because I'm reading them both at the same time. I'll read a chapter, I'll put it down, read another chapter, put it down. And then I go back to really make sure my dumb ass comprehended what I read. And then on top of that, I'm reading the how of like how to basically just be like yourself, which is so hard.
Do you know how hard it is to be yourself? Like, I don't think people realize that, but that's, again, a different conversation.
Especially when I identify, people ask me who I am, and it's so corny, and I almost never say it because I just feel like you're not going to get it, or it might come off wrong. But I know that at the core of me, I am a lover. That is my greatest quality. Like, that is who I am. Whether I'm your friend, whether I'm your sister, your niece, your whatever, I am a lover. It's the best title I have.
No,
and so
I don't think that's crazy. I don't think that's crazy at all, because
you don't, because you get me.
Because I tell people my greatest superpower is support, but that's rooted in love. Like I will support you wholeheartedly. My friends' dreams are more important to me, which is a pro and a con. But but people who I love dreams and being able to assist them get to a better place, like that warms my heart, whether I get recognition for it or not. And like, that's rooted in love. And you saying that you're a lover, that's probably actually the real term I should be using versus support, because I love so hard. And I think that's also one of the reasons that I'm single, because I know that not everybody deserves the unconditional, pure, unadulterated love that I'm going to give. So I had to learn to be selective with it.
See, I believe that everyone deserves it, but are they able to receive it? Back to boot cuts now.
Okay.
I think every human being in this world deserves it. They deserve it. Whether or not they can handle it, or they want it, or they're open to feeling it. Sometimes I know that I've tried. I think more so I'm sorry, my cat is stop. I am rejecting the idea of not everybody deserves it, and more so looking at it as I need to understand when people are not able to receive it. I try to wrap my arms around walls often. And you can't get your arm around a wall. You can't. Right? So I don't know. And I think that's what makes folks really special. It's like I'm still able to give it when and if you're willing, or I'm still able to be it. Not to give it, because it's not this commodity thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not looking at it as that anymore. I'm really trying to see it as like an ability and like how I self-actualize.
No, that makes sense. And like, I get it. I think that I've just been in situations where I have thought that people deserve it, despite whether they are ready to receive it or not. And I still gave it.
Same.
And it's like, all right, well, I'm going to show you that you deserve it regardless, because I'm going to still love you through your bullshit. I'm going to love you through you thinking you don't deserve it. I'm going to love you through miscommunications, or not even treating me the way that I deserve to be treated, because I am worthy of it. And I want to say backfired, but that's not the word. I just think that it's caused me, I don't want to even say pain, but it's definitely caused some discourse in my life. And I realized that putting all this love into someone else who is not ready to receive it, and I say doesn't deserve it, because it just feels like, I feel like my love is very special. And I think that everybody's love is special, but I think my love is exceptionally special. And I think, again, superpower. And if you are not ready to receive it, or at least be willing to try, because I don't think everybody's perfect, but I think if you're willing, we can do something. I can be reserving that for myself, because that's a battle I've also had with myself for years, like the lack of love that I have for myself and feeling that I'm worthy for love. So if I have this special type of love, I can just be giving it to myself at this point, because I feel like I'm depleting it from myself, trying to force it on somebody else, if that makes sense.
So that's where I would ask myself, am I really loving this person by trying to force them to see that they deserve what I'm offering, or they deserve the love that I think they deserve? Or is it borderline me manipulating them into understanding that? And am I loving myself truly by doing that?
I think.
No,
go ahead.
It's true. No, go ahead. It's tricky.
It is. It absolutely is. I don't know if I agree with the manipulation part. I think that with me, it's not manipulation. It's genuine. Like, I know what it feels like to feel like you're not worthy of something. And I never want somebody that I love so much to feel like that. So I make sure I go above and beyond to know, so they know that they are. Yeah. However, that last part about not loving myself, that's the part where it's kind of like, it gets tricky for me, because I do love myself. It's a constant battle every single day. It's actively working on loving myself, but I do love myself. But I think that there's parts of myself I had to learn to love. Like, I think I loved the idea of who I was, but not like the parts that I didn't like the emotional parts and things like that. So
then can we talk about that? Because can we talk about that idea of, or not the idea of it, but the practice of loving yourself, also learning to love yourself, knowing that you're dope and you deserve love, but it's still being a struggle. All doing that while you don't really have, of course, you might have, non-romantic, non-intimate folks in your life telling you like, yeah, girl, you deserve this, this, and this, and this, but sometimes wanting to hear it from a partner for reassurance, and what that is like and how you do it.
So again, constant struggle. And I'm gonna bring this back to actually something that you said. Like, one of the reasons I became a really big fan of the podcast and you was when we first had a conversation. I don't even know if you remember, it was probably about a year ago. You put up this post and it was talking about how dope you were. Like, you're great and all of that, but sometimes you wish other people would see it, and how it doesn't take away from it, but it's just like, you want, like, why don't other people see how great I am as well, and wanting to hear it back from other people. And I've always had that feeling, and I've never heard it out of anybody else's mouth. So why I watched that clip so many times of you, like, not stalkerish, but like, it was just like, I analyzed every word, because I was like, wow. Like, it just, and it was during a time where, like, I was talking to somebody last year, 2020 into 2021. Like, I thought that I was in love. I was in love. And my birthday had just passed, and him being him, and it wasn't just him, a bunch of friends. My birthday had just passed. Nobody did anything. I was sitting on my floor of my empty apartment eating crab legs, because I manifested this for myself, because I didn't speak up. I said, I just want crab legs, champagne, and flowers. And I got crab legs, I got champagne, and I got an abundance of flowers. I also got that by myself. No one was in this apartment with me. No one did anything for me during the weekend. And I was salty. I was like, so I've been going out my way for everybody. And it sucks, because it was just like, I realized that I needed reassurance, but I didn't want to ask for it. So I had to really sit back and think about a lot of things. Eventually, me and this person stopped dating. And when I tell you that shit broke me, woof. Last year was looking like waiting to exhale. Like, it was bad. Like, I was on this floor crying, drinking tequila. But I realized I had to break to actually realize that I needed to be soft. Like, I'm not a soft person. I'm 100% not a soft person.
Oh, I think you're very tender on the
I know I am, but
okay.
That's the problem. That's the part of myself I didn't love. I don't like the emotional. I don't like how easily I can attach myself to somebody and be so vulnerable, and they use it against me, or they leave abandonment issues out the ass. But I'm in therapy. I see the lady. So like it's a constant battle, and I deal with it by realizing like I have to give myself grace. I have to embrace all these parts of myself, because then I'm just loving myself in theory. I'm loving the person who is witty and can make people respond on Instagram, or is good at podcasting, or works at Twitter and does all these things. But I'm not loving myself holistically, and I had to embrace the parts that are not my favorite to really love myself fully and really get past that part. Because once I started to embrace them, I realized they weren't bad parts of me. Like, they weren't the things that I should be embarrassed about. And it's been helping me literally get through this single part, because it's made me realize, like, if someone could love me, even with the bad stuff, what I consider bad, it's that person is here for me. It doesn't, it's really hard to explain when I say it out loud, and I'm hoping I'm making sense.
It's not hard. I'm here. Hey, you are.
Okay.
I think too. I'm curious. Well, I'm curious to know, and you don't need to explain it, but I think it's interesting that the vulnerable part with your Bronx ass is the thing that you're like, oh no, I don't like that, and I think that's like a superpower. That's where I think I love that about myself, that I'm able to do it. And no matter how many times I get my feelings hurt, and of course I get smarter as I go, right?
Absolutely.
But I'm always open to the possibility of being naked with somebody. I look forward to it. It's such a
absolutely not. Like, you saying like, you look forward to it just made like,
oh, I look.
Whew.
I can't. I'm like, see me. Oh my God, it would be so great.
Absolutely. Like, no, I'm not even vulnerable with my friends. Like, it's a thing where my friends are like, Siobhan, please, just like, people have to pull up on me. Like, I will.
Well, I'm gonna start bothering you.
Yeah, people will pull. Like, when me and this guy broke up, I was like in my house, and everybody's like, how are you? And I'm like, a lot of my friends are long distance, or they have kids, so they're just like not really free to like just do bullshit with me. And I remember being on the floor, and I ordered food, because cooking was not an option. I ordered food, and the door knocked, and I thought it was Uber Eats person, and it was my best friend and my godson, and he was like, Gotti, mommy said you needed a hug, and I broke down.
Of course.
And I'm the type of person, like, you have to pull up on me. You have to be like, we know you're not good. Like, I'm the person that cries, and when people try to comfort me when I'm crying, I'm like, please don't do that, because you're gonna make me cry more. I don't need the comfort.
What if you did cry more? What if you needed to get that out?
I do that on my own, but I know it's something I need to work on, because there was a tweet, and I'm trying to remember it off the top of my head.
Where if you a therapist said that if you handle things on your own, it probably means that you had to handle things
100%
on your own as a child.
I love Sharon, but I was the adult with my mom. My mother is one of the best people in the world, but she was just never organized. Like, I tell everybody that's why I'm a producer and I work in events, because I had to be so detail oriented, because my mother was not. But
we're the same human. You know that I'm a PM.
Like,
right?
Yeah, no, I know. And it's actually so hilarious. Funny. But I'm trying to remember the tweet. It was something like, basically, there's no problem in being soft, because the more rigid and like hard you are, those are actually the people who break the first. And I saw that, and I was like, well, shit. Like, and that was the thing with me and this guy. I hadn't dated in years, and I was fine. I was actually happy. I was living in the Bay. I had come home for a little bit for COVID. We had talked for years and just never met up. it was COVID and we both felt like we were being safe. So we were like, let's meet up. 2 months later, I'm like, wow, I haven't felt things like this in years. And I think because I'm so used to being so hard and so cold and so closed off, I say I'm a calculated vulnerable. Like, I'll come on this podcast and I'll tell you, everybody's like, oh my God, you're being so open. And I'm like, if you knew how long it took me to get to this point to talk to you about this without crying, you would, because the things that I'm still emotional about, we don't talk about. It's not happening at all. And I don't mind crying. It's just when I feel like I have no control over the emotion. So like, I've gotten to the point where I'm like, with this guy, I'm opening up despite not wanting to be. So when it ended, it felt like my world ended. It felt like not only do I resent him, but I resent myself because like, I'm not stupid. I have so many male friends. You know so much of my male friends to the point where like Chi and Nas and Teddy's like, Sayo's a savage. Like I've never seen Sayo talk to men. I've never seen people talk to men the way Sayo do, because I'm not like mean, but I'm honest and I'm blunt and realistic. And to be this soft person with somebody and it didn't go how it was supposed to, it broke me. So I realized that I need to embrace this softness, because if I don't, it's like when things don't go my way, it's hard to recover. It breaks you when I don't need to be broken every time love doesn't happen properly. So that was just, I think that's one of the things that I really had to like learn. Like, I'm so laid back and like chill. Like, I tell everybody I give the brat chic. Like I'm not a girly girl when it comes to a lot of things, but then I am. I'm realizing I like getting dressed up for dates. I want to be affectionate and stroke a man's beard in the dim lighting of a restaurant. And I did that with somebody I met off of Hinge. We were dating after this guy and it didn't work out, but I was so soft with him. Like, I be hiding my niggas like buried treasure, okay? I have friends who I've known since I was 17 and they have never met anybody I dated. And I was engaged and he never met anybody. Like, I was in his wedding and he didn't know my fiance.
Find out you're like pathologically secretive.
I am. It's not that I'll tell you about the man. You just won't meet him. It's very weird. I tell you, I'm seeing the lady. I'm seeing the lady, y'all. I have a therapist. But I was very open with this man. Like, we went outside together. We have pictures together. People were like, did somebody clone Siobhan? Because this isn't the style we know. And it didn't work out on some miscommunication. We don't speak to each other at all type shit. And I wasn't upset. I think about him often. I was happy for the experience and I moved on and I was like, wow, this is what happens when you're like softer and you're not fighting it. It feels, you can bounce back easier, if that makes sense.
Yeah. There's a fluidity to it. I think for me, I think I'm grateful for the time that I've spent. While it's been hard, I think the time that I've spent unpartnered has proven to me a lot of what I'm capable. I already knew I was capable of a lot on my own, right? But it's really allowed me to have a lot of hard conversations with myself about the things that I wanted to be better at and better in. And then I also think that that I have been able to see things for what they are. I'm getting better at that. I'm one of these where when I get a crush, I'm like, oh, this is my husband. And I don't mean it, but I talk in those kind of terms because it's just funny. But I'm recognizing that it's fine to have these crushes, but low expectations, high vibrations. Like, I don't know what this is going to be, but that's the possibility of it. I can keep myself open to the possibility, but also grounded in what it will be. And I hope I'm ready for whatever that is, and I'm also starting to shift the idea, while I would love it, because it just seems it's the fairy tale we all grow up with, right? Of this one person and it's your person and you stay with that person. But I'm also open to the idea of like, it might not be one person. Maybe people come and they're there for as long as they're supposed to be there, and then they're not, and you still honor it. I've spent a lot of time looking back on relationships. I had someone tell me that they had a relationship, their relationships were failed relationships. And I was like, my body, like, ugh, it just cringed. Like, and I thought it couldn't have, even my worst weren't failures in my mind. I mean, for the most part, but like, it might not have worked out the way I wanted it to work out, but I got what I needed from it. And we were so much more than a failure. And I cannot honor any relationship where I've loved someone and they've loved me back if I just only see it as a failure.
You are.
So I've done a lot of that work.
Because it took me this year to find that out. I think I had been single for so long that I forgot that part. Like, I forgot the vulnerable part. And again, I said this broke me last year, but I think it broke me in the best way possible, because I realized,
broke you open.
Yeah, it broke me
to make space for other stuff.
Yeah, and I really, the things that you said, like what I'm capable of, I've always said that I would like a partner. If I get married, great. But I know that I'm so happy and love the support and people who love me back, that if I don't get married, I will be okay. And I still stand with that. I still think I will be okay. I will be a little bit disappointed, but I think being okay with the fact that I'm okay by myself helps me not make bad decisions in love. Like, I had to learn to not resent myself when things went wrong, because I resented myself after that breakup. Like, yeah, I was mad at him, but I resented myself. Like I said, I have male friends. I know the game. I'm not stupid. And it was like, wow, bitch, you got played. Wow. It was just, and I had to realize, like, no, you didn't. You took a chance on somebody and you loved that person. Like, you would have married that person if it came down to it. And you haven't felt that in years. So there's a possibility that you'll feel it again. There's this great possibility that you're still again, because you're not a bad person. Like you said, we're amazing. So I root myself in the fact that the universe or God or whoever's holding it down has somebody so great for us that they want us to make sure we are learning these lessons properly. So when they come, we appreciate them, and appreciate the experience wholeheartedly.
I check. We're gonna end it there. I am very grateful that you came on here, girl.
I'm so happy for this conversation.
Me too. And I am really grateful for you to be vulnerable in here. I'm excited for you to get real soft. Ooh, okay. Real soft and real fluid.
Baby steps. Baby.
I'm telling you, the stuff bounces off of you when you're soft. You're like, ooh, you played me? Wow, that says so much. God, I have compassion for you. What you must be struggling with. I embody all of this love and was willing to share it with you, and you rejected it.
Girl, it's a struggle. Progress is a slow process, but I want to get there. I do want to get there. I don't know if I want.
And in the moment, that shit don't feel like that. You're like, oh, but like, hopefully,
okay. Because I was about to be like,
no, in the moment, not at all. But like, you're hurt. Immediately, you're like, oh my God. But then when if you really step back and think about it, like, imagine being man, woman, non-binary human, just another human, looking at you or I, and we have our arms wide open, right? Full of love, full of offering, full of light, full of just like possibility. And you choose to dishonor that because of your fear or your own self-hate or immaturity or inability to love.
Whatever.
Who should you really pity? It ain't me.
Listen, and that's where I'm getting to. Where I'm getting to is that space, but it goes back to grace. I think that we all have to give ourselves the grace to realize, like, it's not always going to be easy, but we are trying. I can't work if you are not willing, I can't work with it. And that includes myself. So.
Heard you. If you're not willing, but I think we're on our way. I really do. But I want to thank you for being here.
Of course.
I want you to tell the people where they can follow you if you want them to.
Yes, I'm literally the same on all platforms because I can't think of. I'm consistent, but but a mild creative. So my handle on Twitter and Instagram is just call me Sayo or Sio. So JustCallMesio. I have a website that I blog on and I write. Again, back to storytelling. So justcallmesayo.com. And I don't have a TikTok because I'm 37, but I just watch it. So there's that. You can follow me on all platforms and read my work there. And I have a podcast. We have not recorded in.
Thank you.
We have not recorded in so long. So please, again, back to the operative word of grace. It's called Same Energy Podcast. You can find it on any place that you listen to podcasts. And yeah, that's where to find me.
All right, and one last thing before you go is you have to do
the rapid fire. I completely forgot about that. Probably on purpose.
Fast. So rapid fire questions is you can only choose one or the other. Mm-hmm. You cannot explain to us why you made the choice. Okay. And it's rapid.
Yes,
quick.
I know.
All right.
We out. I'm ready.
We out. All right. Malcolm or Martin?
Malcolm.
Generational wealth or familial happiness?
Familiar happiness.
Jay or Nas?
Jay.
Mac or Sephora?
Sephora.
Palestine or Israel?
Israel.
Oh, God. In the light or in the dark?
Dark.
Prince or Michael?
Michael.
Sweet or savory?
Savory.
Marriage or long-term commitment?
Marriage.
Trader Joe's or Whole Foods?
Trader Joe's. That's one thing I'm sure about. Don't do that.
I was like, she was quick on that, Trader Joe's. Voodoo or brown sugar?
Ooh, brown sugar.
A seat at the table or lemonade?
A seat at the table.
Evolution or creationism?
It's got very deep for rapid fire. Evolution.
Quick. Nicki or Cardi?
Cardi. That hurt.
Missionary or doggy
Missionary,
style?
Girl.
Protection or pull out in prayer? You can say it, Queen.
Pull out in prayer.
You praying? Yeah. Is it Uchi Wally Wally or is it one mic?
It's always Uchi Wally.
Is it black girl lost or shorty or you for ice?
Good. Black girl lost. I have to say the
Love Jones or Jason's lyrics?
Love Jones.
Sir or Rumi?
I'm gonna go with Rumi.
Lisa Bonet or Nia Long?
Nia.
Bell Hooks or Audre Lorde?
Bell Hooks.
Make your man a plate or have him get his own?
I'm making man a plate.
Knuck if you buck or Annie up?
Annie up.
Your face. Oh, 9/11, inside job or terrorist attack?
Both. But terrorist attack. Okay.
Rihanna or Beyonce?
Rihanna.
Biggie or Pop?
Biggie.
Erica or Jill?
Jill.
Brandy or Monica?
Monica.
Read a book or watch the movie?
Read a book.
Sundress or sweatpants?
Sundress.
Toni Morrison or Alice Walker?
Toni Morrison.
SWV or Escape?
Escape. You.
Flats or drums?
Flats.
Netflix or Hulu?
Hulu.
Travel back in time or travel forward in time?
Back.
Buy stocks or buy flights?
Buy flights. I'm trying not to make eye contact with you.
Prove your point or pray for peace?
Prove my point. I'm a Capricorn.
Insecure, Issa or Molly?
Issa.
Fun in your 20s or wisdom of your 30s?
30s.
And finally, love and light or money and dicks?
I really want to say love and light, but I have to go with my heart.
I love you. Like, I know we were just talking about love, but that money and them dicks, though. Oh, God. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
You are just a delight. Just a
This
delight.
was so perfect. And I'm really sad Shanti wasn't here, but I'm so happy.
I know. You have to come back when she's on here because she would just love you. And we have to hang. We got to play spades or something.
Yeah, I know. Now you got a car, so you can come check.
Girl, I can come to the Bronx.
Yonkers. Yonkers.
Oh, all right. Well,
yeah, exactly.
I'll do that too. I'll do it too. Oh, you up there with a cheese?
Yeah, I'm literally. And listen, pick up Bridget when you're on the way because she's still trying to figure out how to get here from Queens. So,
God, I will. I'm be like, come on, girl. Anyway, y'all, that is our episode for this week. We will be back next week, and I think next week is with Jaden XD. So that'll be a hoot. It's our Black History episode. Oh, I forgot my Black History fact. Oops. Anyway, we out.
Bye.
Damn. The worst. Girl.
This was amazing.